Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nicole Bonner. Today I wanted to chat about the recent news report that came out on Fox 5 News talking about how the US Surgeon General is now saying about how bad the use of alcohol is. And I don't watch the news. I'm not a big news person because, well, quite honestly, it depresses me. And a lot of advice that I give my patients is stay away from the news. Quite honestly, we don't know who to trust. But one of my patients did come in yesterday and they asked me if I saw the report. And of course I didn't, but it did prompt me to go ahead and do a little bit of research about what the report was about and what the US Surgeon General was talking about. The bottom line is yes. Alcohol is a toxin. It is toxic to our body, and it's literally a poison that you're putting into your body. Coming from a cultural background of being Italian, I grew up in a household where my grandparents had a carafe of wine on the table every night and drank wine every night. And also just coming up in the generation that I did, I was an 80s, 90s kid, and alcohol wasn't really considered to be something that was super dangerous. Back then, the big thing was smoking cigarettes. The US Surgeon General finally told the general public about how dangerous smoking cigarettes was. So for my generation, smoking cigarettes was just something that you don't do anymore because the US Surgeon General said not to. I feel like this is the direction we're now going with alcohol, which is a good thing because it is a poison to our body. In chiropractic, we're really interested in the effects that alcohol and toxins and poisons have on the nervous system. Chiropractors, despite popular belief, are actually nervous system doctors, not necessarily musculoskeletal doctors. We focus on the function of the nervous system. Alcohol is a tremendous detriment to the brain and to the nervous system. It is extremely dangerous for the brain and the nervous system. You may have heard people who have friends or family who have struggled with alcohol abuse use a term called wet brain, where people drink so much alcohol that even when they're not under the influence, they seem to still be under the influence. They can't think, they can't focus, they lose cognitive ability. And so that's what we are concerned with as chiropractors. The brain is essential to your overall health and your overall body function, not just your day-to-day cognition, which it is as well, but your brain controls everything about you. So if you take a look at my nerve chart, you'll see that the brain and the spinal cord, which travels through the center of the spinal bones, it's literally the lifeline to the body. It literally controls every single function in the body, from your eyesight and your hearing, all the way down to your lungs and digestion, and then all the way down to the function and coordination, strength of your legs, your digestive system, your bladder function, and your reproductive system. When toxins come into our body, it comes in through the digestive system. The body absorbs that, and the toxins from the alcohol actually gets absorbed into the blood system. That's why, and it crosses the blood-brain barrier. That's why we feel the effects that we do, right? In the beginning, sometimes it feels pretty good, right? But that's why we feel the effects from the alcohol. The problem is that toxins deteriorate brain function. And when the brain can no longer communicate with the body, that's when we have disease and dysfunction. That's when we start to lose function. The heart beats differently. Sometimes people's heart races, sometimes you get palpitations, sometimes the blood pressure spikes dramatically, digestive problems can be affected by this, and then not to mention your daily function, right? And so one of the things we are encouraging our patients to do is to take a look at these reports from the US Surgeon General and to take this seriously, just as seriously as we took those warnings way back in the 80s and 90s about smoking cigarettes. We really need to take this warning from the US Surgeon General just as serious, just as important as back then with smoking, because alcohol has horrible effects on the human body, and we just say, just don't do it. Please subscribe or follow for more.